Thank you for joining us again. It's time for business. Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria has emphasized the need for taxpayers' education as a cornerstone for building resilient and informed societies in shaping the tax base and contributing to the economic viability of the nation. This was part of the summation at the annual Tax Week Symposium with focus on stimulating revenue growth through a friendly business and tax environment. Professionals in the fiscal space also want a review of the tax laws and regulations to ensure that tax incentives and exemptions align with broader economic development goals. Speakers during the symposium are optimistic that Nigeria can establish an effective regulatory framework and compliance system for administering tax incentives and fostering economic development while maintaining fiscal discipline across the board.
Sustainable revenue generation aligns with the principle of sustainable development has been established, emphasizing the need to balance economic prosperity with social and environmental responsibility. Nigeria has not been sitting on its oars over the years. There has been effort to see how we can bring in more tax revenue to the net of the government.
This is a program that is focused on how to stimulate growth in Nigeria, especially when it comes to tax revenue. And the whole idea is not just about generating revenue, but it's about how you use the revenue.
To educate the people, right, both the taxpayers and the government as a whole. The way the government is going to grow their revenue in a way, in a symbiotic relationship with the taxpayers by creating an environment, a good business environment, a friendly business environment for the taxpayers.
The Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce is calling for more incentives to enhance Nigeria's manufacturing sector and engagement of young people in the affairs of running businesses to boost productivity. President of the Chamber, Mr. Ray Attili, made the call at the Chamber's Next Generation series on manufacturing seminar in Lagos, Transforming a Manufacturing Business, a trip into the future of manufacturing. He said the young generation is not only the future of businesses, but the strength of survival of businesses across all sectors of the economy, while appealing to corporate enterprises to have confidence in young people who are driven by cutting-edge technology and innovation and the capacity to influence the future of manufacturing for socio-economic growth of the country.
We will take away some learnings through this interaction, which will bolster confidence of anyone who may be having nightmares about handing over their prized businesses to a successor they do not trust completely. The next generation is not the future. They are the strength, the dexterity, and the restless spirit that drives innovation.
Private sector, family-run business, and still actually be able to actualize that growth and be able to put yourself in a standing. And we opened up our books. We have to break barriers because the assumption is that we're coming to fail. So go there, don't assume, and don't feel entitled because I know him, I know her, I must do it. It's not. We must change our mindset.
And let's take a look at the equities trading for today. The market put up share prices as big companies moved to improve values. Let's join market editor Effiong Akop for more.
The Nigerian stock market closed trading for the week in the positive territories as big cap stocks were raised in values. With 10% gain. First Bank Holding, UBA, and CWG also closed trades with gains. The low traders with declining values included Eternal Oil, Access Holding, ICO Insurance, and Champion Breweries. Trades volume have been shrinking in the last few weeks due to trade fatigue in some sectors of the markets. 342 million units of shares worth 8 billion naira were crossed in the market sectors. Analysts talk about market holding up threats with caution. Efyong Ekop, TVC News, Lagos.
And as to some companies' news now, Meta platform says businesses purchasing a boost for their post on the iOS version of its social media apps, Facebook and Instagram, would need to pay an extra 30% service charge to App Store operator Apple. Advertisers will be able to boost their content on Instagram and Facebook via a browser without paying the Apple service charges. Apple had announced the updated App Store guidelines in 2022. Meta said it will start implementing the changes this month in the United States, and that other market will be subject to this fee later in the year. And our crude oil prices soared earlier today over a forecast of slowing demand by the International Energy Agency after gaining in the previous session on weak U.S. retail sales data that sparked optimism that the Fed might cut interest rates sooner than expected. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude fell to sell at $77.99 per barrel with a downward price margin of 0.05%. Brent crude futures also experienced a price decline of 0.25%, selling at $82.65 per barrel. Bonnet recorded an upward price margin of 0.4%, selling at $85.11 per barrel. And for the OPEC basket, crude oil dealers are offering $82.52 per barrel, with an uptick of 1.34%. Well, and that does it for business. Coming up next is